Let's have a look at the last part of this question. So suppose now that the government sets a per unit tax to be paid by the suppliers, what's gonna be the quantity? So this is gonna affect the price set by the suppliers, because since it is taxed, it's gonna increase the price on the market. So we'll need the price in terms of the quantity supplied, which we can find from this function. And we will also need the price from the demand side, because we want to know what's happening in the equilibrium. In other words, let's just crop this, take it below and solve it over there. So let's take it like that, copy, and we will solve it over here. So yes. Now first of all, we have to find out what's the price in terms of this supply. We have it over here, 10p. This is the quantity supplied. Let's take the 100 on the other side. We'll have 10 times the price is equal to quantity supplied minus 100. If we divide both sides by 10, the price in terms of the supply is equal to quantity supplied divided by 10 minus 100 divided by 10, which is 10. Now in other words, that's just equal to 1 over 10 times quantity supplied minus 10, to see the slope better. That's the price in terms of the supply. We found out the price in terms of the demand over here in the previous questions. Let's make them equal, see what happens. So if we make them equal, we will have 20 minus 1 over 20 times the quantity demanded is equal to 1 over 10 times the quantity supplied minus 10. Now if we take the quantities together and the numbers together, by the way, let me not rush. We said that we're working with the tax, so because the tax is imposed on the suppliers, we said that this increases the price by the tax, meaning we're gonna add the tax to the price function, which is gonna be over here. We are taking into account the tax. Okay, now we can solve. If we take the numbers on one side and the quantities on the other side, let's see what's gonna happen. 20, we take the 10 over the other side. Let me change colors. We take the 10 on the other side, so that's going to be 20 plus 10. Another constant that we have is the tax, so let's take the text over there, minus the tax equals to 1 over 10 times the quantity, and then let's take this quantity over here, plus 1 over 20 times the quantity, 1 over 20 times the quantity. So 20 plus 10, that's equal to 30. Let me go to the right because there's no more space. 20 plus 10 is equal to 30, minus the tax is equal to 1 over 10 plus 1 over 20 times the quantity. Now we add the same factor over here, the same term, so we have to add these coefficients, 1 over 10 plus 1 over 20. If we add 1 over 10 plus 1 over 20, we must make the same denominator, so let's multiply this by 2, and we will have 2 plus 1 divided by 20 multiplied with the quantity. Now what is 2 plus 1? 2 plus 1 is 3 divided by 20 multiplied with the quantity is equal to 30 minus the tax. Remember that we want to find out the quantity in equilibrium, so we want the quantity function. Let's write that. And how will we do it? We will divide both sides by 3 over 20. So quantity in equilibrium is going to be equal to 30 minus the tax divided by 3 over 20. What does it mean to divide by 3 over 20? That means to multiply with the inverse. So the quantity after the tax is going to equal to 30 minus the tax times 20 over 3. Now let's multiply every term with 20 over 3 to open the brackets. So the quantity in equilibrium is equal to 30 times 20 over 3 minus the tax times 20 over 3. Now 30 divided by 3 is equal to 10. 10 times 20 is equal to 200, which means that the quantity after the tax is equal to 200 minus 20 divided by 3 times the tax. That's the quantity in equilibrium in the market after the tax. One thing to keep in mind here to understand from this question, look at the slope of this function. The quantity in equilibrium in the market has a negative slope depending on the tax. In other words, if the tax rises, the quantity in equilibrium decreases. Because if the tax rises, then the price on the market rises, then the quantity demanded falls, so the quantity in equilibrium is gonna go down as well, because consumers are willing to buy less at a higher price. That's what this function is showing. It's showing the effect of the tax on the market equilibrium. Hope this makes sense, and we are done.